Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. In previous video, I've already shown you how to add edit and delete button in the recycler view and how to perform operations when I click on this edit button and when I click on this delete button. So if you have not watched my previous video, you can just go to description. There I put the link for my previous video, or you can simply do one thing, just click on the suggestion on the right side of the screen. Okay, so in this video, I'm going to show you how to add this floating action button over here, and when I click on this, a new activity is opened and how to perform the save operation in the Firebase. So suppose if I'm going to add a new data over here, so I'm going to add a Tom and he's in btech and the email ID is tom@gmail.com, and I'm going to take one image, right click and just copy image link, click on this, and here you can see this. For now I don't have any Tom, so I'm going to add one Tom over here. So for that, to actually paste in this one, just long press same as we do in our cell phone and paste it, save, and here you can see this new data is added. This is not this one, this one. So I'm going to show you how exactly we perform this operation. Now move back and we will find we have Tom over here. Now the image is fetched and it's being shown. We can perform the edit operation as well, and we can delete this record as well. So without wasting time, let's start with this. So we are working on this Firebase video, and inside this one, here we can see we don't have any floating action button. So first thing what we have to do is we have to add one view, that is one activity actually. So I'm going to add one activity in this one. Let me close this and minimize, stop this. Okay. So first we have to add one activity which will be opened when we click on that floating action button. So go to activity, select empty activity, click on this, and I'm going to name this one add activity. Click on finish. This will add a new activity, a new class, and a new XML file layout over here. Here you can see this, we have new. Okay, so we don't need to perform any operation on this one for now. Let me close everything, close all. Okay, after this I have to add one drawable file. I'm going to add one vector asset. Click on this and click on this one and search for add. Select this, click on OK, and just change this one to add_new. Click on next and finish. A new XML is added for this plus. After this, move back to this one, that is activity main, because in the main activity we have to add one floating action button. So move back over here on the palette and search for floating action button. Just click on this, drag and drop it over here. Next thing what we have to do is we have added a new XML, that is add new. Here you can see this, just select this and click on OK, and now we have this. Now just drag like this. We have to constrain this on the all four side, and we have to bring this on place like this. Wherever you want to place, just place it. Now here you can observe that this floating action button have some default color. So I want to change this one to red or orange. So I'm going to set this background tint, and I'm going to set the color code, that is #FF8400, and now here you can observe the color is changed. Okay, wait for a minute, move back over here. It's black right now. Oh sorry, I missed the hash, so it's hash. Yeah, now you can see this is orange and it's looking nice. But when we start this and we observe that we don't have this floating action button in the app. It's being started. Oh, okay, now we have it. When we click on this, nothing happens. Okay, so we need to move this one a little bit on the right side. Okay, so now we have to register this in our main activity. So move back over here in the main activity, and here we have to type floating action button, floating action button like this, and we have to set the quick listener on that. So for that we have to move over here, floating action button dot set on click listener, new view on click listener. And inside this one, what we have to do is we have to open this activity underscore add whenever we click on that plus, that is floating action button. Okay, so for that what we have to do is we have to just write a one line of code that is nothing but start activity, not activities, start activity. Make sure you write this one. And after this, new intent get application context dot comma, and we have to name the add activity dot class like this. Now start this and let's check if something happens now when we click on this floating action button. Okay, so it's having some issue. Actually, we haven't registered this floating action button. So floating action button dot, not dot, is equal to floating action button find view by id r dot id dot floating action button like this. Okay, so the id for this floating action button is by default set whenever we drag and drop it. Let me just show you that in the main activity main, when I click on this and go to split code, here you can see this floating action button id is by default set inside this one. We haven't set the id, but it's set for this one. Okay, now if we start this, now our app is started. When I click on this, it's open a new activity with the empty because we haven't added anything in the add activity underscore add. So now I'm going to add text fields and other stuff into this one, but I'm going to copy the code from this. In the previous video, we have created update pop-up, and I'm going to copy all from this and move back over here in the activity underscore add and just select all and paste it. Now we have this. Okay, so I'm going to make changes inside this one according to our need. Okay, so first thing what I'm going to change is I'm going to change this one, the name for this. I'm going to change this one to update details to add new record, and after that I'm going to change few properties of this one. I'm going to change the top margin, so margin top will be now 15. We have to set same for everyone, just 15. Click on email ID, it will open that code 15, and in the same image URL you have to set the margin top 15. Now we have to increase the size of these text fields so that these look nice actually. So for the edit text field height for this one will be 45 for now, and we have to set 45 for everyone, every text field actually. Change this one to 45 and this one also to 45. Okay, now move back over here. Now we have to add one back button as well because we have to change this one to btn add and change this one to save like this, and we have to add one more button. So I'm going to copy this once again and paste it and change this one to back btn back like this, and width will be, I'm going to change the width to 200 dp, not this one, height, this is height, right? So width will be 200 dp like this, and I don't need this background, I need the background tilt, and that will be hash ef6fb5. this is the color that is red or orange little bit, and gravity will be center, layout gravity is center, and here you can see this, we have this in the center, and that's fine. That's all what we need. Start this and let's check if these same seen or not when we click on this. When I click on this, yeah, we have. When I click on this, nothing happens for now. So I'm going to add controls now to these buttons and everything. Okay, so move back over here. Let me minimize this one. Now we don't need to actually change the IDs for these because this is txt name, this is txt course, this is txt email, and this is txt image URL, this is txt add, btn add and btn back. Okay, so now we have to move back over here to the add activity. Just double click on this and we move back over here. Inside this one, what we have to do is we have to first register all the edit text and the buttons. So for that, edit text, and first one is name, course, email, and SURL. After this we have buttons. So button, btn add, alt and enter, and btn back, like this. And we have to typecast it, edit text, and we have to search by find view by id, r.id dot, and we have set the name txt name, like this. After this we have course. Again we have to do the same, find view by id, r.id dot txt course. After this we have email, edit text, find view by id, r.id dot txt email. After this we have SURL, that is student URL, student image URL. r.id dot txt image URL, like this. And we have to register two more stuff, that is btn add and btn back. Btn add dot, not dot, is equal to, this is a button, so button and find UID r.id dot btn add. After this we have one more button, that is btn back is equal to button find view by id, r.id dot btn back. When we do something like this, we actually create a connection between our code and actual XML file. Okay, so we are referring to this btn add into the XML file, and this will refer back to our this with name. We can actually set this name different. I just said just to identify easily the same one. Okay, you can set this different. You can just set it like this, back. That will be fine. It's showing error because we have not declared this variable of back. If I delete like this, yeah, this will work fine. Okay, so not an issue. Now what we have to do is we have to create a click listener on the both of these buttons. So btn add dot set on click listener, new view on click listener, this one, and one more on the btn back dot set on click listener, new view on click listener. And when I click on the back, I just want to finish. So now let's check if this back button works or not. So when I click on this one, it actually starts up our app, that is app-based video. Just start this and click on back, and here you can see this, we move back to our RecyclerView or the dashboard, whatever we can say. Click on this and here you can see this. Okay, so now move back, and now we have to code for this one. I'm going to add one method, so that method will be private and it will return nothing, and I'm going to name this insert data, like this. And inside this one, first thing what I'm going to do is I'm going to fetch the data from all the text field inside this add activity add inside this one, and save into a variable, store into a variable, and then set into a map, and then pass that value to the Firebase so that the data get inserted. Okay, so first thing I'm going to create a map object. So map, inside this one, first thing will be string and object like this. Map is equal to new map, like not like this. This will be new hash map. And now we have to put all the values from the text fields. So sorry, edit text. Okay, so map dot put, inside this one we have to pass a name, that is name, and name dot get text dot and convert that to string. The same way we have to do for others. So map dot put, and this will be course. This will be course dot get text dot to string. If you are worried that from where I get these name and courses, these are nothing but these names. I'm accessing the value from these edit text, right? Okay, so next thing we have is map dot put. We have email dot get text dot to string, then map dot put. We have surl, and we have surl dot get text dot to string. Now the map is ready. Next thing what we have to do is we have to get the reference of the Firebase database. For that we have to just write like this: Firebase database dot get instance dot get reference dot child, and inside this child we have to pass this name, this one, students. If you have named this something else, then you have to pass that value. These are auto generated key. Previously we have typed manually, that is S1, S2, S3 and S4 in the previous video, in the first video I guess, yeah. And this time when we insert a new record, either we can put this name also, or we can auto generate it. So this is auto generated, that's why it's showing like this. Okay, so we are going to use the auto generated part. So students, we have to write like this, and we have to just call one method, that is push, and this will simply push the data, insert the data by automatically generating a key into the Firebase database. Okay, now we have the reference. Now we have to just set the value, and we have to pass the map. After this we have to show the user what we actually the data is added successfully, or it failed due to some reason like internet issue, another issue. So we have to add on success listener, and inside this one we have to just new on success listener. Inside this one we have to just simply create a toast, create a new toast, and inside this one I'm going to write data inserted successfully, and after this dot add on failure listener, new on failure listener. And in this one I want to show some message. Okay, so remove this part and just close this with a semicolon, and I'm going to create a toast. Inside this one we have to show some message if there is something wrong. So error while insertion, like this. Now let's check if this one is working or not, and we have to call this method where when we click on this btn add. So insert data, that's it. Just start this and let's check if this one is working or not. So click on this, move back over here, and I'm going to add Jerry. Courses, Jerry is doing MBA. Jerry@gmail.com, and we have to search one image. I'm going to copy this. Right click, copy image URL, minimize this, long press, paste, minimize this and save. Data inserted successfully. But what I want is when the data is inserted successfully, I want to clear these all fields, because this is looking not that much nice to have the previously added data. So when I click on save, all data needs to be cleared and we are ready for the fresh data entry. If I click on back, and here we can see this, we have Jerry over here and the image is looking. And when I click on this, yeah, this is clear, but I want exactly same when I click on this save button. For that, what we have to do is we have to add one more method, that is private void clear all. I'm going to just name this method, and inside this one we have to clear all the text fields. So name dot set text and just set the empty. In the same way we have to do for the remaining. So set text empty, course email dot set text null. After this email we have to set the surl dot set text null, and just call this method where whenever we click on this add button. After insert data, I want to call this clear all method like this. If I restart it, let's check if this time this is working or not. So I'm going to delete this Jerry, delete. After this, I'm going to write again Jerry, and the course will be MBA jerry@gmail.com, and I'm going to add the same image which I have previously copied. So paste it and just save it. This time here you can see the data inserted successfully and all the fields are clear. If I click on back, now we have this Jerry and we can update as well. So now this is working. So finally we have completed all the CRUD operation. We have created, updated, deleted, and we have read the data from the database. So that's it for this video, guys. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, then please hit the like button and subscribe and share with your friends. And once again, thanks for watching and stay tuned with our channel.